The movement must continue. See, we let it go to sleep. This movement's got to be woke up again.
All right, good afternoon, Plug family. Again, happy Friday to you, and thank you for joining me on your lunch break in midday and on this cold Friday. Again, my name is Renee Unique with Unite Louisville, and I have been, we've had a morning already, So, and it has definitely been a week for me, but I'm so glad to be here with you guys today. And I have some beautiful guests with some wonderful spirits that are doing amazing things out in the community. Like I said, I always bring the community heroes out here. And, I met Miss Nikki. I have Nikki Cooper with Keepin It 100 Ministries, right? Yes. And I have her nephew, business partner, is it Karan? Am I correct? Karan, yes. So we were talking about first, it is lunchtime, and so after the show, right? Are you treating us to lunch? You just
Jesus
I wish I could.
Right.
Sound good.
Right, it sounds good, but that's okay. We make it work. So, all right. So, how are you guys? Thank you for. It is cold outside.
Yes.
It is really cold, and then the kids get out early too. So we definitely gonna make sure that. So
let us pray.
Yeah, let us pray. Right. So we already have a weekend ahead of us. All right. So tell us exactly about your organization, why you started it, and tell us a history about where you come from, why are you doing this, and.
Okay. Our organization is called Keepin It 100 Ministries. Yes. The reason why is because we're trying to stop the kids from being bullied, right. Suicide prevention. We also trying to let them know that it is big mamas out there. So we try to reach their needs. We also not just assist with the children. We try to get to the root of the problem, and that being, if the children is acting up, they're getting bullied, I want to know why. 2 chances out of 10, it's the way they dress, the way they look. So we try to get them clothes. We try to go to the parents, seeing what's wrong with the parents to make the kids act that way. So we try to reach out to the parents. If they need a job, we write resumes. We'll pay out of pocket for state ID, but not a driving license.
Right.
We'll try to let them get in touch with someone that can help them financially. If they need food, we give cooking classes. All this stuff has been going on for like 4 years. I needed help 2 years ago, so I called in my nephew. And when I can't get something, I call him, and we'll make it happen. So we give cooking classes. We go out into the neighborhood, right. A way to give back because we'll pass out food. Right. I'm also with Temple of Revelation, and that is my church, and we are at 3000 West Madison. And together, I'm not trying to beat the Bible into their heads because we know how it was when we was growing up.
Right.
So I apologize for my youth and people my age. Stop taking the kids to church. Stop letting them go to BTUs. And we lost control. And we gave the system control. Saying that is to say, I'm trying to let them know it's a safe place to go. Right. It's a safe neighborhood to go. You don't want to go to nobody's church. You can be who you is at my church. You can say what you have to say without cussing, without degrading yourself, without being bullied. Because we find out too many chances the people that are getting bullied turns out to be the bullier, turns out to take their own life. So we're trying to stop them. I come from Chicago. We're trying to stop them from the bullies become the bullier, or the ones that's getting bullied on take their life. All life is matter. God did not give you your life for you to take it or take somebody else's life. So we touch all that. And also, we're working with the inmates, because half of my children does not have an active male in. That's another reason I call for him, because I want them to know it's a positive male out there that you can talk to. And you don't, some of the women, they figure that they need to be the males in their relationship. That's why we have miscommunication. The women feel like, when my mama had this man, she beat it up on her. I ain't gonna do. I'm gonna be a better woman, and I'm gonna have my girl like this. So that's questioning that sexuality. And then the men feel like, when my mama's too far into these men's, I got to be the mama. So they got to do the hair, they got to do the makeup, they got to get the kids to school. So let's question their agenda. So now we're trying to deprogram our children and reprogram them with positivity.
And I you know, and listen to, and you're so right. And I love this because, you know, that's what something we were talking about is that we are missing the big mama's house, right? Because I remember growing up, and when I had, you know, when I had something on my mind or my heart, or I was going through something, I was able to go to my grandmother. I was able to go to a neighbor, someone that opened up their doors. And, you know, just open up your doors is free, right? And so just having that sensitivity and understand what these children are going through, right, is very important. And just knowing that. And that's the thing, is just keeping it honest. You know, what are you going through? It's not judgmental. And like you said, you know, a lot of the churches have closed their doors and being judgmental. And just so much you hit so many points.
That's why it's called Keepin It 100.
Yeah, she hit so many points about, you know, women trying to, you know, raise these young men and the disconnect in the community and the elders. I mean, you hit so much. And then when we come back from break, I want to talk about you, and you said you come from Chicago, right? So, oh well, I'm telling Chicago.
We already know.
Yes, it's, you know,
A war zone.
it is a war zone, but it's a war zone. It seems to be everywhere, and it seems to be all of the problems that we're having in the Black community. It doesn't matter where you live and where you come from. It seems like, you know, I did some research and I was studying on a couple of things, and it seems like a lot of the what we have right now is the same. You have the poverty, right? You have the drugs, you have the crime, you have the affordable, a systematic cycle. And it's just not here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's all over, right? And I think the larger the cities are, and the more corrupt it is, then you have all these problems that are systematic failure, as we discussed. We're going to go on break, and I would love to hear from you more, and then let's talk about what we can do to help your organization and just keeping it 100. We'll be back. Hi, my name is Renee Unique with Unite Louisville on the Plug Network Online. Check me out every Friday at noon on your lunch break. Stay connected and stay plugged in.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ear, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
We educate people on compliance to get through the COVID crisis. Call us at 502-299-0714. No limit cleaning. Your dirt is our business. Again, that's 502-299-0714.
Positive vibes from me to you. I am Latoya with the Toy Box. Join me bi-weekly on the Plug Network Online. That's Monday nights at 7 p.m. ready to do your work. Imagine a world happy, healthy, and healed because you showed up for you. So stay plugged in.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
All right, and thank you for joining us. And again, my guest is Karan and Miss Nikki Cooper with Keepin It 100 Ministries, and that's exactly what we were talking about on break, is not sugarcoating, right? We don't sugarcoat around here. You can't sugarcoat with these kids, period, right? So just keeping it real and keeping it honest, you know, there's no, what was it? They say no, the fake future in your front. What's the fake in the
Ain't
front?
no fake ain't no future in your front.
Right, exactly. So we can't have that. We can't have that at all. So again, we were talking about, let's talk about Chicago. I'm sure you've seen a lot. And oh man, you know, did you start your organization there in Chicago or?
Well, in Chicago, you know, God has redeemed me. Let me first by saying that. By me coming back to God, it allowed me to look back on my past and repent of everything I did. Keeping the 100 is about keeping the 100, so here you go, y'all. I was in the heart of the ghetto. As far as y'all have little walk-ups and townhouses for projects, no, we had 18 stories, 24 stories, and we had the Ickies, Robert Taylors, the Hillians, Stateway. We had Cabrini Greens, a.k.a. R. Kelly neighborhood, but we had all of that. And in the process of that, I can honestly say that I was also a part of a gang. And in that gang, it was the Gangster Disciples. So you're born in, ain't no getting out. If your family is GD, you're automatically GD. Knowing that is to say, I try to be a rebel because I didn't want to be like my sisters and my brothers. So I started dating outside of my nation to try to find myself. So I found myself going to different people looking for love in all the wrong places. And I found myself attracted to the heads, to the peons and the ones who put drugs on the line. I can tell them how much this is. That is, that we sitting in the bed, count the money, count the drugs and everything else. Saying that is to say, it really took a turn when one of my boyfriends, we was getting ready for an all-white party, and he was downstairs already dressed in his white. I ran upstairs to get something, come back, and he's shot to death in a car. And I'm like trying to pick him up. His name was White Mike then. And it's like it's totaled me. Then I have a book coming out too that explains everything. Me finding out that my mama at that time was not my mama. That I was raised by a neighbor who found me. And you know, growing up back into the 70s to the 80s, a neighbor will get you. They never called CPS. They never called nobody, but they raised you up as they own. So I was raised up with her, and growing up, her kids was telling me, my blood don't run through you, And I started saying, why do they keep saying this? To come to find out, when I got 13, my real mother stepped up. And when she looked at me, I was like, who is you? You ain't my mama. And she's like, you look just like your brother. You ain't know who I was when I opened up the door. So, needless to say, I got past that. I had my son then. I didn't want my son to go in the same mentality that I went to. He's a servant. He'll be becoming a server. He'll be becoming a hit boy. He'll be in jail for the rest of his life. He'll be dead. He'll be wrapped up in everything I was.
And this is what our youth are dealing with. I mean, your story and testimony is real. And a lot of us, even though we don't want to talk about it, you know, this is happening in a lot of our homes.
Yes.
You know, and the thing about it, and that's what the outcry, the backlash, all that, the violence that comes into play, you know, and they look at you and they're like, hey, I got a mentor, I got a positive energy, I got a positive image. Right. I have a young black male that's out here that's wanting to help me, and he understands what I'm going through. I remember here a couple of weeks ago, I was with someone, and there was a young, I don't know, he's about like 19, 20 years, and he's just wanting to work. And he was like, hey, my mom's at home. She's doing her thing. She's just, you know, she's lost out here like that, and she's lost. I'm out here trying to make some money, and I'm just trying to get a job. And see, just listen to the story. And that's the thing, like, they don't know you don't know what people have been through and what's, you know, and behind closed doors. Right. And then just to take your pain, the trauma, everything that you've been through, and said, hey, look, that's enough is enough, and I'm going to let God use me. And that's what we do here on Unite Louisville. I bring people on here where God has used them in, you know, in a right direction to help our community grow and move forward. Right. And that's what we all need to do. And that's why this is called Unite Louisville, because there is, you know, unspoken heroes such as yourself that we are here to support, and we want people to know that, hey, you don't have to go outside your zip code. No. You don't have to go all the way on the other side of town to get what you're looking for. What you're looking for. That love. Right. So tell us about yourself and you know what you're doing. And
what I do, I try to bring the support to the youth and anyone around me. I see that during this time, we got to break a cycle. We got to find a cutting point and try to support those who really want help. Right. And then the ones that don't, they will follow suit eventually. Because when it comes down to it, it's slavery in a new way. Yeah. And yes, it is. They changed the slavery up and made it more to where it's in a correctional facility. Yes. And when it comes down to being in their system, you have to know how to play them, which is why I want to try to start like a little course within the program to where we study law. Because if you do not know, then you just go and you get trapped into their system. And you have to know how to fight against these people. And that's how you will be able to cut it off and start something different. Right, because the prison system is filled with us, right? And they make money. You know, they make money off of us, and they, you know, especially with no detention centers here in Louisville anymore. And so, you know, the thing about it is, you're right, is that if you don't understand your rights, you don't understand your civil rights, you know, that's a wrap. You fall victim into the system, and you have to understand the system, and you have to understand the laws, and that's the thing. What you're up against. You have to, you really do. And then, so the thing is, even with your program, when you have people like such as yourself and say, hey, come in, I got you, right? I got you. And then what happens is, this is what we're going to teach you. We're not only going to teach you how you can change your life, but this is how we're also going to try teach you survival skills, but also we're going to teach you how to become the young man or the young woman that you need to be a productive citizen, where you don't get caught and trapped in the system, because it's never worked for us. You know, it never has, and because it's a money making. Very high. Yeah, and the penalties are, and that's the thing. Like you said, you got all these kids out here. They're doing so much, but they don't know what the penalty is. Right. What's the cost? What's the repercussions of that? Right. And so when we come back, we're going to talk about how we can support your organization, give everyone the information that they need and what you got coming up at any upcoming events. And we're going on break, guys. Hi, my name is Renee Unique with Unite Louisville on the Plug Network Online. Check me out every Friday at noon on your lunch break. Stay connected and stay plugged in.
Are you a poet for the people? Illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ears, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? a destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
We educate people on compliance to get through the COVID crisis. Call us at 502-299-0714. No limit cleaning. Your dirt is our business. Again, that's 502-299-0714.
Positive vibes from me to you. I am Latoya with the Toy Box. Join me bi-weekly on the Plug Network online. That's Monday nights at 7 p.m. ready to do your work. Imagine a world happy, healthy, and healed because you showed up for you. So stay plugged in.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.
All right, guys, and we're back, and thank you for tuning in with us on your lunch break again. And I have Nikki Cooper and Karan with Keep It 100 Ministries. And so while we were on break, we're talking about the prison system, and we're talking about how important it is to know what you're up against, and reading and just knowing and just taking that time out. And that's the thing, is we just need to take our time out with people and find out what they need help with, right? And so we always talk about solutions, not problems. And some of the solutions that we face are people and the youth that are out here, they're committing these crimes, and whether if they're innocent, just taking that time out to go to the library, or taking that time out to call, or giving them that time out to to give them advice, right? So you were talking about a couple of situations that you may have, even with your own personal or other people that what can you do, and how you can push the program, this organization forward. So can you explain to us a little bit about what we were discussing?
We have a lot of things going on, and we trying to do transitional housing for inmates and things like that as well, to where they can also have somewhere to go for home incarceration, and even study law, or just have some type of recovery, because after being locked up so long, due to whatever situation it may be that get you caught up in the system, it's hard to come back to society and really be like, just fit in. You can't. Life still goes on. You go in prison and you just sit there for however many years, and you jump out into something that's moving way faster than what it was before you got incarcerated.
Right.
So the studies is more of a necessity now, and you start with the youth. You want to start with the youth because they're targeted now more than ever.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. And, a lot of times for those, we do the footwork on the ground, we need the funding and we need the help. And I know that a lot of times we do this out of pocket, and I know you guys are doing this out of pocket, and that's what we advocate for, and we've been fighting, fighting for, a lot of these larger organizations. We talk about how they always get the funding, or it's always a relationship. You got to know someone, or you have to have the best grant writer, right? But I always feel like just because you have the best grant writer doesn't mean that you're out here doing the work, the best work. Amen. Right? And this is one of the organizations that are doing the best work. And I have all the people, even including mine, the Vision of Life Outreach Ministries, we're out here doing the footwork. And because we're out here doing the ministry, we're doing the outreach, right? And so how can people, you have a website, is there a Cash App, how they can donate, even their time if they can donate, and
Well, as far as that part, I've been doing it we've both been doing, I've been doing it for 4 years. 2 years it has got extremely over my head. So I called in reinforcement over here. He's a truck driver. So I was like, I need your help. Please help me. The kids need groceries. The kids need food. He's like, okay, auntie. He came in. He saw the things that I was doing. He's like, okay. I start saying, the reason they're acting out is because they have no food in the house. So they have this, they have that. So now with my program, I bring them in my house because we're trying to get a building. We're trying to get a building.
Okay.
We're paying out of cost for food that went skyrocket now. But we're showing them that instead of going to Papa's Chicken, you can go.
Well, it sound good to me.
You can go and buy the stuff to cook it with. Instead of you eating for one day, a second, you can go buy all the groceries to make a meal that you can eat for the whole week. So we're teaching them homemade skills. We're teaching them how to
That they took out of
stretch.
schools, because I remember going to
Yes.
home ec a long time ago.
How to
I didn't
stretch your
teach that
butt.
at school. That was my grandmama taught me.
how to stretch your butt.
Right.
We're teaching them how to make homemade tacos instead of going to Taco Bell. Fresh fruit, how to cook it. And I found out that if you show them how to cook it and they do it, as far as you cook it and give it to them, if you cook it and give it to them, they won't eat. But if they put their hands on it and they cook it, they'll try it, they'll like it. So we've been doing that, and we do have Cash App. It's $ Keepin It 100 Ministries. That's KEEPINIT 100 Ministries.
And she is a 501c3 nonprofit
Yes.
organization, right? So for, tax deductions, tax write-offs, it is tax season. So
Yes.
she's doing, they are
Be a
doing some,
blessing.
yes, be a blessing to a child that is in need. It doesn't take much, it really doesn't. But even though the resources that I have, I'm gonna connect you with.
And we also
Definitely.
meet at my church,
Okay.
which is at Temple of Revelation, 3000 West Madison, where my pastor is Dr. Eleanor Pfeiffer. We can set up days to meet there. I'm trying to get them into church, but I'm not trying to throw the Bible at you.
Right, right.
So we're looking for, if you like to play the drums, if you like to sing, we can hold talent shows to get you away from this negativity of the life.
Right.
That's degrading our people, that's degrading music, that's the WAP and all this. You can change it over and make it be about something and go and do something. And right now I have one person that we've been mentoring, and he's also now left us, and he's been on the Steve Harvey show.
Awesome.
So we find ways to get you noticed if you want it noticed. It ain't got to be noticed in a lineup, noticed in a drive-by,
Yes.
noticed in a casket, or noticed by a gravesite. But it can be noticed on the Steve Harvey, noticed on the show like this, but in a positive atmosphere.
And that's
We need to
exactly what we're
deprogram
doing. Yes.
to reprogram.
Yes, reprogram, restore, and rebuild together.
Right.
And that's what we do on Unite Louisville, is working together in unity. We do separate things, but we are unified to move our neighborhoods and our kids forward. We just want a better lifestyle. They want a better lifestyle. Doesn't matter where you live, what bridge you cross.
Right.
Yes,
we can do it from
support when we get
Chicago
away. Yes.
to here,
Yes.
and also pick up that book, because what you're going through, I already went through it. He's already went through it. And if we can turn it over and make it be about God's business and not our business, it'll be a blessed business.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And thank you again. Y'all stay safe. Stay warm. Go get those kids. They're going to drive you crazy this weekend,
Oh,
but that's
God,
okay.
I
But
got
they
'em
are
now.
alive.
I got
Until
20 kids
next
that's coming to my
time,
house
I'm
now.
in you. Thank you, Plug family. Have a blessed weekend. See you next Friday. Hi, my name is Renee Unique with Unite Louisville on the Plug Network Online. Check me out every Friday at noon on your lunch break. Stay connected and stay plugged in.
Are you a poet for the people? illuminating the emotions of those who know what suffering from an unjust system feels like. Everyone doesn't have the opportunity to hold a crowd by the ears, so for us to take on that role with our God-given craft, it's only right. Are you a poet for the people? A destiny meant not for the weak. We too have suffered trials and tribulations, experienced in rebuilding what was once torn down with the words that we speak.
We educate people on compliance to get through the COVID crisis. Call us at 502-299-0714. No limit cleaning. Your dirt is our business. Again, that's 502-299-0714.
Positive vibes from me to you. I am Latoya with the Toy Box. Join me bi-weekly on the Plug Network online. That's Monday nights at 7 p.m., ready to do your work. Imagine a world happy, healthy, and healed because you showed up for you. So stay plugged in.
This is Ashley with More Than Rubbing, a massage therapist guide for self-help. Tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Plug Network. Stay plugged in.